What are the effects of glucose? Glucose in its purest form is a simple sugar that is found in many foods. Our body uses glucose to produce the energy or fuel to help it function. Glucose is a molecule made up of several cells that can be extracted from starchy grains such as wheat, rice, corn, and potatoes, to name a few. Once glucose has been extracted from these plants, it can be added to any number of food processes to sweeten and enhance their flavour. In the United States, the most common glucose food additive is derived from corn, or more commonly called cornstarch. Cornstarch is heated in a water solution for a few hours at a relatively low temperature, which results in breaking down the starch into even smaller particles. Then, a common species of fungus is added to the mixture, which promotes the starch to break down to its basic element of glucose. The mixture is then purified and concentrated until the glucose is in crystal form. These crystals are packaged into cubes and sold to the food industry. There are many other forms of sugars that can be used in food packaging, such as fructose, which is derived from fruits, some vegetables, and honey. Fructose is sweeter than glucose and is recommended as an alternative for people with diabetes. But where every cell in the body can metabolize glucose, fructose can only be processed in the liver. All forms of sugar, both simple and complex, raise the blood sugar levels and can cause a form of insulin resistance. When a body ingests glucose or any carbohydrate, all carbohydrates are made up mostly of starches and sugars. It breaks it down into its simplest forms and uses them for energy. Most of the body's energy is produced from carbohydrates. The sugar molecules are broken down and convert into oxygen and carbon dioxide molecules, basically keeping our body functioning. This transformation translates into metabolism. Our metabolism is how efficiently our body can turn these foods into energy. Glucose is also one of the primary sources of energy for the proper function of our organs and our brain. This may explain why there is such a feeling of euphoria after ingesting a food item that is very high in glucose. Many people complain of being dizzy and lightheaded when their blood sugar levels are either too low or too high. The human body tries to keep itself on an even keel, and when we overfeed it with sugar or do the opposite and don't feed it enough of the energy it needs, it will try to overcompensate. That is when the body will release insulin to try to compensate for our actions. Either way, we feel symptoms. First, we will feel the immediate reaction from either too much glucose or from what we did to our body by undereating. Next, we will then suffer from the counteractions that our body has to perform in order to react to our original actions. Seems like a vicious circle, doesn't it? This is why knowing a little bit about our body's work and what insulin is and what it does comes in handy.